A wonderful good morning to some of you, good afternoon, good evening. For some of you, it's the middle of the night. So first of all, I would like to thank each and everybody for joining us here tonight or today in the first ITO workshop for the United Through Sports World Virtual Youth Festival. Now, I think we're making history here already. As I understand, we have 62 sporting organizations here already on this platform today. And some of them are from the Summer Olympics, some of them are from the Winter Olympics, some are IOC recognized, some are AIMS members, some are observers, some come from international NGOs working for the good of the world, and all together we come here to make history together for the first United Through Sport Virtual Festival. I'll be honest with you, it started with an idea when the pandemic started, and while we have been working on this, we have come to realize that for many, when this pandemic hopefully will come to an end, the circumstances will not change. They will still live in isolation. They still will live in very poor surroundings, many of them crammed into refugee camps. So we have come up with the idea for an event where you do not need a visa, where you do not need a passport, where you do not need a ticket to travel. We come together on a virtual platform to unite the youth of the world, not just for a sporting competition, but to connect them also on a social way where politics in many ways keep them apart. We can unify them here on our virtual platform. Now I would like to thank first of all some of the people here, our CEO of United Through Sports, Julia, which have been one of the driving engines. She will talk to us in a minute. And I certainly would like to thank the AIMS family, which have come up with the United Through Sport initiative a couple of years ago when we started to integrate the sports festival in the Sport Accord Convention. I would like to thank everyone else which contributed, our friends from R Sports, the ITOs, especially from obviously my own sport, our friends from Taekwondo and Judo, which really have worked with us very close over the last weeks to put this all together. We have discussed this in many, many long hours with the IOC, with the IPC, with the Special Olympics, with the Sport Accord Game family, and certainly within our AIMS family. And I'm very happy to say, before we even start, that the IOC has given full patronage and support to this event, as much as the IPC and the Special Olympics. So this is the first time in the history of sport that the IOC, the IPC, the Special Olympics are putting an event together in the spirit for the youth. Julia, you hop in whenever you feel I talk too much or where you can talk better. Feel free to interrupt anytime.
No problem.
So we over already for many sports, the competition already started, qualifier have started around the world. This is not an event where we actually show our own sports. We have done an exercise program, putting the core sports of sit-ups, push-ups, squats, fitness in general together to give all sports and all organizations a chance to bring the kids together under the core sports. The final will be held here in Bangkok, starting on November the 20th, in celebration of the World Children's Day, and it will go for 3 days with an opening ceremony where the IOC president will open the event together with the IPC president, the CEO of the Special Olympics, and many, many other dignitaries from the world of sport and NGOs, including the UN General Secretary. Then for 3 days, we will do the competition, workshops, educational platforms to unite the world for 3 days in the spirit of sport. Simultaneously, there will be events held around the world. The IOC will do an event for the youth in Lausanne. We will have an event in Washington, D.C. We are planning to have an event in Tokyo. We will have an event in Beijing. We will have an event in Australia, and we're also talking to Paris to do an event there. But as important, or maybe even more important, we also will have, and planning together with our friends from the World Humanitarian Taekwondo Foundation, with Generation for Peace, with Peace and Sport, and other organizations, including the IOC Refugee Department, to also have events in various refugee camps in Rwanda, in Syria, here on the Thai border, and in Turkey, to also give these kids opportunity to be part of this event. Julia, is there anything you'd like to add?
So far, so great.
So what we have to talk tonight is about how we're going to score this event. And this is why we have invited the ITOs and the different organizations to come together to share with you some ideas, then give us some feedback, and then in a couple of weeks we're going to call in the second workshop to then finalize the rules to make it fair. Because this is the first time where we, by example, have a kid from gymnastics competing against a kid from baseball, and the judges will come from swimming, basketball, and judo, by example. So that's going to make it so interesting. This has never been done before. It also will provide certain challenges, so we have to make sure that the right hand will be lifted, so the right people will end up at the podium. We have decided on 3 different competitions. One is called MaxFit, where the kids will do different advertised routines to show us their fitness level. Aerofit, where the kids will do the music, will do performances, maybe integrating their own sport or dance or gymnastic movements. And then the talent show, where I'm sure Julia will brief us later. Now, we have developed a partnership with R-Sports, and we were happy to have the director of R-Sports tonight here, because one, we have to ensure that the kids are safe, that their data is in a safe digital platform. It cannot misuse for any purposes. So we're working on a child protection policies, which will be released next week, and also on the data protection. So maybe Robin, if I could pass this on to you to talk about this platform.
Of course. Apologies for the ambulance outside. Hi everybody, good day. I'm Robin Kent. I am the CEO of R-Sports. We have been working with Stefan and IFMA for a number of years now. We also work with a lot of other international organizations and federations. We have vast experience in sport. Our role in this is at the membership stage, where for the finals, everybody will be registering through the platform, and we will be collecting data. Now, obviously, it's absolutely critical that we protect this data. So as far as we, as the R-Sports platform operates, everything is 100% secure. We are totally GDPR compliant. We host all of the data in the cloud. So the cloud for Europe, the data for Europe remains in Europe, the data for Asia remains in Asia, the data for America remains in America, etc. We will have a membership form that will be created. We will have parental or parent consent forms. The data that we collect we will only display the data that is agreed. So it'll be the name, the age group, and that basic, and the sport, and that will be it. The only people that will have access to all of the data are the specific admin people that will be chosen sport by sport. So the data will be 100% secure. Anything else you'd like me to say, Stefan? Or
I think, thank you, Robin.
thank you.
What I would like to add here is, again, the login for each athlete of each sport will be done by your IF. The IF will get a login passcode where you then enter the data of your use, and only you can see it. Each kid obviously have to sign a consent form, and their legal guardian have to sign a consent form. And there I would like to thank especially our friends from UIM and Ricardo for helping us with all the legal work, and the AIMS Council, and especially Mikael Buchel for helping us to put this form together. It will be sent to you next week. The IOC also is looking at it. So we want to make sure that all the use are protected. Now, I think to start to talk about what we expect from the ITOs, the referees and judges in this, how can I say, new concept, I will hand it over to one of the people which helped us to put the guidelines together. Again, this is just the first meeting. After this, please send us your inputs, and we want to make it work for all of us to make sure we have an amazing competition. Günther, over to you. You have to unmute you.
Yes,
Günther, you have to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so hello all around the world. My name is Günther Blank. I'm from Austria. I'm an ITO in IFMA, and I'm in honor to represent you to the guidelines of the referee. So at first, the referee have to wear the referee uniform. They must be connected via laptop to watch or view the battles. They need also a scorecard and a band. The second device for scoring is a smartphone or a tablet. It's for the finals, we need it. So maybe a laptop, but we'll need to switch to browser windows. And if it's possible, to use a click counter to daily drills. That means, for example, we have some exercise with 2 different exercises inside. For example, in the half of the round, they have to use the right leg. On the after part of the second time, they have to use the right leg. So you have to count on a different way. And maybe sometimes the referees or the judges get confused with the counting. So it's much more easier for them if they use the click counter. The next step is understand all rules and regulations. So you can see it on the Facebook, on the website. Everybody can read it. Well experienced in judging. National graduation is mandatory and to be approved by the International Federation. So everybody must be registered by the National and International Federation too. So next slide, please. So the referee has to take care about the field of play, the virtual field of play rules. The athletes must be dressed, so everybody can see it, what meaning with dressed. So upon entering, athletes will greet the judges and opponent to show respect. Competitors will receive the briefing from the judges to ensure they understand the rules and format. Athletes are to stay visible to judges at all times and must remain standing throughout competition. So they cannot leave. They can take a small cup of water or something like this. That's okay. Or they use the towel if they are sweating. So, but they must stay all the time on the same place. For the max fit, please ensure you have watched the videos, clips to have a complete understanding of the match drill required for each round and positioning. So same like as I said before, we have some different exercise in, and the referee should watch all the videos before we go to the competition. The next one is very important, the camera setup. Ensure phone setup is horizontal, landscape, and in the fixed position. Not anybody should hold the mobile phone or the camera, they should it fixed on a fixed place. So mark the boundaries of framing to ensure you stay in the camera view. no backlighting, camera position, 4 meters from a wall, the competitor's position 1.5 meters. So it's better for them to use earpieces or connection with Bluetooth speakers is recommended. And live competition, competitors will be asked to mark boundaries and center position to entry to virtual area. Next slide, please. No, I think I give the word to Abby, please.
One second before Abby, please. So I know this is now a lot of information, but we obviously gonna run that through with all the ITOs. We're gonna have a test competition before, and most importantly for the kids, they will have technical assistance, so they will not actually perform live. So it will be done 2 or 3 hours before to make sure we have no technical problems, the kids are not too nervous and whatever. So each kid will have a technical supervisor which makes sure everything is done. To make sure, we also must understand some of these kids are 10, 11, 12 years old. We must give them as much help as we can. And obviously we're also counting on the IFs to give them as much support as possible to make sure that the kids understand the exact rules and regulations. Thank you, Abby. Next slide.
Hi everyone, I'm Abby from Australia, so I'm just going to tell you a little about the MaxFit competition. So firstly, this competition is about contestant strength, power and stamina. So this will give our athletes a chance to showcase their skill and fitness levels. Participants will be drawn into brackets and will be given their assigned competition slot. So with that, they will be provided a link to enter the virtual competition arena, where there will also be 2 judges in attendance, or 2 to 3 judges, to be able to score the rounds that they compete in. Winners will advance to the next round. So they will be provided with a new link and a new competition time slot to go through and compete to the next round. So all is competed over 3 rounds. Contestants are to complete as many of the designated exercises or drills that they can in their allotted time slot. Contestants are scored on the number of reps that they can perform. So as well as that, they are also scored on the quality of technique they show. So for instance, if we have, say, red corner and blue corner, and red corner does 18 burpees and blue corner does 20. If red corner has very good technique, then they could still win that round. So that's a bit about the actual MaxFit competition. So the divisions, we have many divisions. We have covered all our juniors. So we have both male and female divisions. And we go right from under 10 to under 18. So under 10, under 11, under 12, under 13, and so on. In our sport, normally we have weight classes too, but in these moments, we are just doing weight class age divisions. So I'm sure many of our athletes will be very happy about that. Next slide, please. And from here, we have, so the allocated rounds and timing. So from under 10 to under 13, they will be performing 3 30-second rounds. From under 15 to under 14 to under 15, sorry, they will be performing 3 45-second rounds. And then from under 16 to under 18 will be 3 1-minute rounds. So this is for both male and female, it doesn't matter. And 30 seconds may not feel like much, I guess, but when you're doing 30 seconds of continuous burpees, that will show a lot of skill and a lot of fitness for these kids. So this is really a great opportunity to allow our athletes to show off a lot of their skill. I'll hand you over to Jens now, and he will talk about the designated exercises or drills that we have. Thank you.
So Jens, 1 second, please, 1 second. Just to clarify here, the age division will be the age of the competitors on the 22nd of November. So there must be 10 years old on the 22nd of November. There must be 11 years old on the 22nd of November. So we took that bracket for the end of the competition. It's much easier because especially as some already doing qualifiers. Sorry, Jens.
Okay, thanks, Stefan. Hi together, my name is Jens. I'm from Germany and I will guide you to the designated match drill. So as you will see on the next 2 slides, there will be 2 categories. The first category will be the age division from under 10 to under 16. And the second category will be the age divisions from under 17 to under 18. So first, let's go to the age divisions from under 10 to under 16. As you can see here, your athlete has to perform different match drills for preliminary matches, quarterfinal matches, semi-final matches, and final matches. So please make sure that your athletes know 100% which drills they have to perform. You can find the link of the match drill on the screen. So maybe we can do when we take the burpees. Okay, so if they have to perform the burpees, they can look before, click on the button and watch video, and then a video will pop up. And here you can see how you have to perform the burpees and what are the criteria to perform it correct. So it's very important that you perform it correct. If you don't perform it correct, it will not be scored.
There I like to add, these are the sample videos for the final. All these videos will be done by Olympic champions or by high delegates from the sporting world. They will introduce the competition and then do an example of the criteria, and then the competition will start. These are just the example videos for the kids to start to train, but we are now working with the IOC and with Olympic champions to redo all these videos to inspire the kids. Thank you. Next.
Okay. The same system is here, okay, for the age categories under 17 and under 18. It's the same system. Your athletes have to perform different match drills for preliminary, quarter, semi-final, and final matches. So really make sure they do the right performance. I think about this slide, Abby talked before, right, Stefan?
Yes.
Yes, so we can go to the next slide, and I will hand over to Günther again, and he will explain the scoring system.
Okay, thank you, Jens. So now you can see on the right side of the slide the score sheet. So at first, for the referees and judges, they have to prepare it before he starts the event. So they have to fill it out, everything. So they have the date, the name of the judge, the organization, the country, the category, and also the next step, they have to fill out the name, the organization, and the country of the red corner and the blue corner. So on the next one, I will explain you focus. No, one back, please. One back. Okay. So you have to take care about if the athletes, as Jens said before, they have to make the exercise on a correct way. The focus on max fit is on understands strength, power, and stamina. Tell the number of the designated drill, The final score of the round should be decided according to the round as a whole performance, not just the number of designated drills. That means only, for example, red and blue have the same number of reps, for example, burpees, but the blue corner make a better performance. He shows better condition, he don't have heavy breathing, but in the same both of them have the same number of repetition. But on this way, blue one shows a better performance. His exercise was much more better than the blue one, and he have not heavy breathing after the round, and so in this way, he will win this round. And record the final score as a 10-point must system. That means each winner of the round get a 10 point, and the loser of the round 9 or 10. It depends on the count of repetition. So on this way, next slide, please. So there you can see, for example, all names inside, everything is correct. So first round, the red corner got 43 repetition and blue corner 41. So in this way, the red corner wins 10-9. The next round, there was eagle, but the burpees, same as I said before, the blue corner shows a better performance, not heavy breathing after this round. And so in this way, he will win this round by 10-9. On the last round, red corner, for example, with the right leg, he get 32 reps, and with the left one, 28, and the blue corner with the right, 28, and with the left one, 26. So in this way, he have, the red corner shows a better performance, and he will this round 10-9, and in the end of the round, he win this battle 29-28. So hopefully it's clear. Not, please ask, or in the end of the slides we can give you an answer. The next slide, I think it's go to Abi or to Buddha.
I just like to clarify before we go to this, a couple of the questions I see on the chat board. Number one, the language will be English. We cannot go in too many different languages. It will be too complicated. So that's why it's important that the kids will have help, especially coming from the countries where there may not be English speaking. So this is something where we then obviously need the ITOs and everyone or someone to make sure that the kids will get help. And for this competition, under 10 means any age under 10. We cannot do any more because time-wise, we normally should we do 9, 8, and 7, but we have to stop somewhere because otherwise you can never finish in 3 days. So if the kids are 7 years old, they go in the under 10 competition. There was the 2 questions I will see. And thirdly, obviously after this meeting, we will send you the presentation for you to study before we go into the next round of discussion. Now, Aerofit. Now for this division, Abi, you want to talk first? Or you want me to take this?
Yes, sure. Okay, so our next competition that we have is Aerofit. So this competition will be judged by video submissions. Participants, like the MaxFit, will be drawn into a bracket system, and judges will score the videos to determine who goes on to the next round. Results and brackets will be live on the system, so once the judges have entered their results, they can enter it into the system and everybody can see. So at the moment, finals will be judged live, and finalists will be informed on the schedule of the competition time slot, so that they must enter through the virtual arena link. The arena will also be attended by 2 judges from opposing teams, so different places or countries. And so they will take turns to perform. So one group will do their performance first, and then say that's the red team, and then the blue team will perform their routine, and then the judges will score either 10, 9 for red or blue. So age categories, we have into, so under 10, under 12, under 14, and so on, up to under 18. For Aerofit, it's not gender specific, so we can have, the athletes can decide, they can have male-male or male-female. It's completely up to the athletes in how they want to go about this one. So the next slide, the scoring system. So the scoring system is a 10-must system. So we have a bunch of criteria that we must follow, and the first one being the creativity in choreography, as you can see there first. So that is really to see how unique and technical their moves are, and that is allocated for 2 points, as you can see there in the scorecard on the right. The next criteria is the creative costume. So really, who has the better dress? Are they colour coordinated? They match their effort in creating a costume. That is a 1 point allocation. The next one is the incorporation of fitness components. So really the level of fitness that is required, are their moves quite technical? Do they look fitter than their competitors, that kind of thing? So that is a 2 point allocation. Next we go to balance and power. So that's quite easy to understand. Do they have good balance and do they have lots of power? That's another 2 point allocation there. The next one, we have coordination and synchronicity. So are their movements in time with each other? Do they look good together? That kind of thing. That is also 2 points. And the last one is the fluidity and continuity. So do their movements flow from one to another? Are they even in time? That kind of thing. So that is 1 point there. So just onto the next slide, and it will have a scorecard there. So as you can see, Gunter has filled that out. He has given the first section there, the creative choreography. So 1 point to red and 2 points to blue. The next one, you can see the costume, 1 point to red and 0 points to blue. So as we go down, we tally the points. You can see there that blue received 9 points and red 7 points. But because we have the 10-must system, it must revert back to the 10-9. So blue you would score as 10 points and red would be 9 points into the system. So blue would win that round. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to pass you on to Jens, and he will talk more about the video submission. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.
Abby, sorry. Farik here. I just got a question for Abby. For the costume, is there any branding guidelines?
No.
Any?
I will come to this later when we talk about branding. I will come to this.
Okay, great.
Okay, come back to the video submission rules. So there must be a maximum 3-minute choreographed sequence to the team's chosen music. So the team can choose the music, and it should be a 3-minute video. So the time management is very important too, and can be scored also. The team must consist of 2 people only, and in any gender combination. So there can be 2 boys, 2 girls, or 1 girl, 1 boy. So that doesn't matter. The routine choreography must demonstrate fitness components. The video should be recorded with a microphone. You can also use an integrated microphone on your mobile phone device to capture the music as well as visual choreography. So make sure you have a good microphone so we can hear the music and see the choreography very well. The video should be recorded with good lighting and both team members lit from the front. Please avoid backlighting. You can see some advices at the beginning of the slide. There were a picture how you should do this field of play. A tripod or a steel cam could be used for videotaping. That's optional. And the teams cannot submit any choreography that has any additional effects, speed changes, motion, editing, etc. The videos must be naturally recorded and not enhanced in any way. That's very important. The next slide, please. So here you can see the technical requirements. So if you have any questions to that, you can come back to us and we will answer. So, but that's a more normal format: video format, video codec, video resolution, frame rate, screen ratio, and video orientation. So please make sure that your video is fit for all this technical requirements. Next.
Okay,
and I
thank
think I'll give
you,
it
thank
back
you,
to
Jens.
Stefan.
I will pass this on to Julia in a minute. There's a couple of things I would like to add. For the Aerofit, we obviously gonna call in a very special group in the next 2 weeks. I see Steve Butcher here from gymnastic and Carl also from cheerleading, our friends from dance. Manuel is here from bodybuilding and so on. So we're gonna call in on a couple of people to form this little group just to map out the final details on this one, as it needs a bit more shaping, because I know the Aerofit one is gonna be a funky one. A lot of kids are excited about this one. I can see already videos getting sent to us on TikTok. Finally, I know what TikTok is. I'm learning as I go along. So this one needs a bit more work, but before we're gonna have the next ITO workshop, we're gonna get the sports involved. We've had much more experience than us on this, and get their opinion to shape this up. Thank you. Julia, I pass you on the talent show.
So hi to everyone, and thank you so much for joining, especially to Gunther, Jens and Abby so far for really taking the time to introduce all the different aspects of the competition. So we have the talent competition, which will involve various categories. So if we go to the next slide. So as you can see, we've got an under 10, under 12, under 14, under 16 and under 18, as well as an extra category, which is for exceptional performances. So within each of these divisions, there are specific groupings, which are for vocal competition submissions, for dance, for theatre and drama, for instrumental, for people who want to perform in groups, a given talent, and there's other. Now, other could actually also include the sport disciplines. So for example, if gymnastics, let's say, wants to perform a sequence, they would be put into the other category. If there is, for example, taekwondo, they want to put forward a group, that would be in the group category. So we have the exceptional performances, and this is actually for sort of special cases which are approved by us prior to their submissions, where they might be over the age of 18. And this is also for youths who have participated in our last festival events, who are now sort of above the age of 18, and they would still like to participate. We leave that open for them. Next slide, please. So basically, in general, this competition category really can accommodate any form of talent, be it with a child who has a pet animal and they want to do some tricks. You have a contortionist, you have someone who likes to write poetry. You can technically fit into any of the categories. So in terms of submissions, as you can see here, we've got the video format and so on. In terms of sort of simplifying these details, we will actually simplify them so it's clearer for the average youth who's participating to understand what the expectations are. Because looking at this, I know it is quite sort of detailed. So we will simplify. The main sort of element is to also just ensure that the recording is done in horizontal and not vertical. And also in terms of the size, 200 megabytes, in order for us to be able to view the sequences and the performances. So in terms of judging criteria, again, this will be judged on a 10-point system as with the MaxFit and Aerofit, but this will be focusing on the presentation of the performance, so that'll be 25%, creativity, you know, how much uniqueness they've brought into their performance, the clarity, for example, if they're singing, can we understand them? In terms of ability, what sort of abilities have they shown that could be unique? At the moment, we don't have a finalized scoring sheet, but this will be done by next week. And then we'll be able to share an official scoring sheet with yourselves towards the talent competition. But we do recommend that if you have someone within your federation or organization who specifically is linked to the sort of creative arts, we would encourage you to sort of bring them on board towards the internal qualifiers and judging system. The next slide, please. Thank you.
Julia, before, for the talent show, we obviously gonna also include many other judges from organizations which are partner of this event. By example, we have the Nobel Peace Prize winner as one of the speakers. We will involve the IOC, IPC, Special Olympics. So we're gonna build a special panel channel, someone from UNESCO, United Nations, because there are so many different talents which we're gonna highlight at the talent show, and we want to keep as many smiling faces as we can in that talent show, especially as this is something for all abilities, and we want to unite all the different organizations in that talent show. The IPC is certainly part of this. They're already starting their qualification events. They're already starting. They will do their official press release next week, as I understand. And they will also run their competition as part of the final from the 20th to the 22nd. The same goes for our friends from the Special Olympics. They're running also their own competition over the next 6 weeks. And then at the final, these kids will show their unique talents as part of the event. Julia, anything to add there?
No, just for those who are interested in terms of the Special Olympics and the IPC event, they can contact us directly and we can share sort of more information about their specific competitions. And if there's any federation who wants to be involved with either, they can contact us and then we will make the connection towards how they can bring their youths to participate within those two specific competition categories. Thank you.
Thank you. So there will be virtual medal ceremonies. That's where it's going to become very interesting. The kids which end up at the podium will receive a virtual medal, gold, silver, and bronze. These virtual medals will be given by leaders of the sport community, the IOC president, the IPC president, Special Olympics, UN, UNESCO, some Olympic champions. So we will create this special celebration, and that's why the judging is so important to us, to make sure that the right kids end up at the podium. And then the real medals will be sent to the respective federations, and you can distribute them to the kids, or you can have your own community celebration when the real medals arrive. But from the 20th onwards, there will be permanent medal ceremonies, and already many of the leaders of the world of sport have committed themselves to be part of the virtual medal ceremonies. Each kid, regardless where they end up, they will get a certificate with the logos of the IOC, IPC, and Special Olympics on as a token of participation. So no kid will go home empty-handed, so to say. Next. So this is, in really 45 minutes, a brief summary of where we are. Again, this is the first ITO briefing. The next one will be much more serious, because then we have to start to put this together and start judging and make sure that we all understand the rules and regulations and know how to do the score sheets. I think for the branding, which is very important, we have been discussing this with many sports, as many of the sports are going through hard times at the moment, having no events, and maybe need to show their sponsors that that they have events. So we will send you the event branding, and we will allow you to use your sponsors of UIF to show up at the logos and so on during the competition. We're working on this now, and I think this also will help you to send them later the videos and whatever to your sponsors and tell them that you had an event in November. So I will open Q&A, I'm not sure how we're going to do this. Maybe you have to lift your hands or unmute yourself, and we will do for 10 minutes any questions you may have. Please, the floor is yours. I'm very happy if there are none. Once again, we will send you all the presentation. You can then email us all the questions you may have. And then we're going to be more prepared for the next meeting. And we have many individual meetings with the federations anyway to answer all your questions.
I had a quick question about the max fit scoring.
Yes.
Jennifer, Abby had mentioned that when two kids are going, one might get 30 reps and one might get 28, but the 28 could still win. Is that because you're taking reps away because they did not perform it correctly?
The ITOs want to answer this, or?
Jens, can you give an answer, please?
Yes.
Yeah. So correct performed repetition will be counted. So if it's wrong, we don't score it. So at the end, we should only have the final correct performed repetition. Okay?
But in this case, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but for correct reps, we score it 2 points, and for incorrect, maybe he touched with the needed floor, we count it as a 1. For burpees, for example.
Because it doesn't really make sense if you say someone has 30 and someone has 28, but the 28 can still win.
Can, but for example, we're talking about, for example, burpees. If the red corner make 28 correct burpees, you score for each correct repetition 2 points. And for the other one, the blue one, make 30, but 5 of them was not on the correct way. So for example, he touched with the needed floor. So you score for 5 repetition only 1 point. So in this way, in the end of the round, he don't have so much repetition than the other one. I hope it's clear and understandable.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What we will do is, sorry to hop in there sometimes. So each kid, before they start, they will get a 5-minute briefing from the technical officials to make sure that they recap all the rules and regulations before they start the competition. Second one, rights. I see some questions. Rights for the music. We will clear all the music rights before. We have 2 executive producers and 4 producers working on that show. So we need to have the songs before, and we will get the music rights done. Just to answer that question, please. Another question was the intervals between each round. I see that also. So the interval is always half of the competition time. If it's a 1-minute round, they get 30 seconds break.
Mr. Fox.
Yes.
I just want to check with you for the event. Are we going to have any game management system, or just like we're going to use papers, or how you do the judging as at the same time of registration as well? Is there like in-house GMS game management system, just like, maybe like ATOS or Cisco or any third parties?
This will be Asport. You want to answer this question, Robin?
Yeah, I'll let Alex answer this, if
Yes.
I may.
Okay, we have actually our system. We have the registration part, as Robin tells. This is secure, everything very good, and also we have a scoring system which we can use. We used it as a offline version, and we adjust it for competitions like this. We already made a tournament with the scoring system. I think on the next call we can share some materials, how it was. Also, I can make some short presentation on the scoring system as well. So we can use this. I think we need some discussion on this topic, because maybe it will be more convenient to use some part of the scoring system. For example, you can fill in this form in a paper, and then you can take a picture and send it to the for example, main judge. I think it will be Günther Blank, and he will input it in our scoring system, and it will be more convenient because all IFMA judges already worked with our scoring system. So we won't be able to, we won't have any problems to teach new person how to work with our system. But actually it's pretty simple. So I think we will discuss that, but we have a lot of opportunities. We have the registration system and the scoring system as well.
Yeah.
Basically, Alex, this is going to be like more like a voting system or scoring system?
Let me answer.
I think it's going to be more like a voting system, I think.
Right, let me answer this. Number one, the next time we will teach about the scoring system, I like to make something one time more clear. When we say live, it is live for us. It is not live for the audience. Okay? First of all, we're working in different time zones. We don't want the 10-year-old kid getting up in the middle of the night to make a performance. Okay? So live means live recorded. Then it will be judged. Then it will be edited. And then it will go into the time slot on the competition when we air it. Because we need to deal with, first of all, time zones. Second of all, technical issues. So we must take all this in consideration. So that means there will be at least a couple of hours before the performance, before we air it, and the decision will be done. So any mistakes, recounts, to answer Mademoiselle Thompson's questions, recounts or whatever will be double checked if there is an issue or it was not clear enough to make a quick decision. So again, live means live for them, but not live for the people on the end watching it. Does that make sense?
Okay, got it. Thank you very much, Mr. Fox.
Thank you.
And then my last question, will we be having any WADA involvement, like maybe doping or whatever, for this time round?
No, all the kids, they're WADA and ITA, actually, they're working together as we speak. They will do a joint workshop. Julia, you want to talk about this or?
Yeah, so basically WADA and ITA are coming together to do an athlete-focused workshop, because obviously we all understand that for this festival, there won't be any official anti-doping protocols or process in place. So what we're doing is we're actually trying to kind of establish a pledge that all the participating athletes will be able to sort of pledge their sort of commitment towards fair play and playing true throughout the festival. And it also encourages the athletes to recap over the education, you know, go onto the WADA website and familiarize themselves or re-familiarize themselves with the protocol and the regulations that are in place.
And the kids all will get a certificate from WADA that they took that pledge on fair play. Just to cap on this.
Okay, thank you very much. Because some of the event we're going to have minus involvement.
Understand.
Good.
Any further questions? I know some want to go back to bed. It's the middle of the night. Some are getting ready to bed. No more questions?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Anna Storm from FITEC, and I have a question related to the Paratech ball. or like the IPC challenge. So as I understand, it's like a totally different competition organized by IPC. And we already got the contact for Hernan Goaticher. And so we will just keep in contact with them, and all the questions related of this challenge goes to them. So it's not like related. Okay.
Yes, IPC and Special Olympics. Obviously, there's many different things we have to reconsider. They have organized their own challenges and their own program. And anyone who'd like to compete with, and also, please, we will happy to give you the contact addresses and deal direct with them. So please,
okay, thank
email Ravi and she will make the connection.
Yeah, we already got this connection. I just wanted to make sure if this is the right way then. Okay, thank you.
No? Then we will keep in touch. We will send you the press releases for the ones which are here in an official capacity for the federation, presidents, general secretaries, and so on. Please work on the youth ambassadors. They play a very important part in this event because they represent your original sport. They will talk about your sport, why they love your sport. They will be part of the conferences. We will involve some of them to introduce some of the delegates, some of the dignitaries, as we have a 3-day conference with 9 different panels and workshops with some fantastic speakers. If there's nothing more, then first of all, I'd like to thank everyone which have contributed tonight. Julia, the ITOs, and we will contact some of you, as I told you before, to get some more help and input, especially on Aerofit. I would like to thank especially the AIMS Council for all their support, and we will invite you for the next workshop in probably 2 or 3 weeks. We may have to have definitely another 2 before we start the competition. So I wish you a wonderful day ahead, a restful evening. For the others, go back to bed, and we see you very soon. Be safe, and thank you so much. Thank you.